you have found that when you're trying to advertise this book and some of your ideas, that those are now your ads are getting censored.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. Obviously, we've gone through some censoring over the years, and we know what it's like. I must say, until it happens to you, you always think it's the weirdo that it happens to. That's what I thought all my life. It's like the weirdos get censored. And then when it happens to you, you're like, wow, you really have to rethink what's going on here.
Or what a weirdo is.
Yeah, or what a weirdo is. Yeah, or maybe I like weirdos. What was your experience, and what do you think is happening?
It's hard to say. One thing that happens when you start getting blocked or have ad accounts shut down or shadow banned or any of those kind of things is you naturally become a little paranoid. And that doesn't mean you're right about everything, but I do like the old quote of just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not plotting against you.
Yeah.
So, one of the issues with writing a book like this is I'm not a doctor. And for years, I had people asking me to write books about the work that we've been doing, and I chose not to do it because I knew that I would face that attack. But in this case, things changed because a doctor contacted me and said, it's actually a fascinating story. He called me on a Zoom call and he said, listen, 5 months ago, I was in 2 car accidents in a week. So basically what happened was he was 40 pounds overweight, type 2 diabetic, hypertensive, and on 10 prescription medications. And he's a doctor running 3 medical clinics in Southern California. He was an assistant professor of medicine at UCLA and a medical internist for many years. And on his way to his clinic, twice in 1 week, he stopped off at Starbucks to get himself some energy because he was so out of energy and still fell asleep behind the wheel of his car twice in a week. Luckily, nobody was hurt in either accident, not badly, but he was hurt from a conscience perspective. He went home after this accident and thought, how can I be a doctor? I can't even heal myself. How can I do that? And he went online and somehow he found one of my master classes and he went through one of our 90-day programs that this book is kind of written, inspired by. And then he got on the call with me and he goes, I've lost 40 pounds. I am no longer type 2 diabetic. I am no longer hypertensive, and I'm off 9 of my 10 prescription medications. It took him a few more months to get off the 10th one. And he said, we need to get this message to the world because I can tell you something right now. I went to medical school for a number of years, many years, and nobody ever talked to me about food and metabolism. Never happened. And as a medical internist working at the hospital, every Tuesday or whatever day it was a drug day. It was the pharmaceutical companies came and they told us how to look for symptoms in order to prescribe their medication. And we never once had a food day. We never had a metabolism day. And so we need to get this book out into the world. That said, I'm still getting attacked by people saying I have no right to write the book because I'm not a doctor. My co-author is a doctor. The foreword is written by one of the most well-recognized doctors on the planet. So I think the other side of it is that some of the places that we might want to advertise, well, they sell advertising revenue to companies that sell drugs that people will stop buying when they're not diabetic anymore. And so it feels as though maybe that's part of the driving force as well. But then, as I said, you start to feel paranoid. We shipped a bunch of books into a country. I'm not naming the country because I'm not getting in more trouble than I am. They seized the books. They seized them and they said, you're not getting them back. And I don't know again, maybe it was something else. Who knows why they seized them? But you start feeling a little like the weirdo.
Yeah. So I've been here. All right. So April 6, 2020, we had the second largest YouTube live stream in the world. And 30 minutes later, the video got banned. And then I started a big public fight with YouTube that ultimately led to our deplatforming. We had been a partner. I'd been down to the headquarters. We had made millions of dollars. And they said, you can't talk about masks and distancing and vaccines, et cetera. So I believe in freedom of speech, so I didn't care anyways, and we just did our own thing. But I was at the time trying to figure out, why would YouTube care about this? And then someone said, oh, they own 3% of this company, and never added up to me. And now 3 or 4 years later, I have people like Mike Benz and people who have spent their careers studying this, and they say, Brian, it's just much bigger. It's not just a media company. It's really a government that is also there to protect all of the big global companies. And they do it as a matter of interests. And it's just bigger. And I'm wondering if you think that is possibly going on here, because food is big and pharma is big and banking is big and media is big. And the government ultimately is looking out for the interests of these companies. Is it bigger than just, oh, this company is doing this thing?
I think George Carlin said this really well. He said that a conspiracy doesn't require 2 or 3 evil people to get into a room and make plans together. It just requires them to have convergent interests. And so you could take the position that government is protecting these large corporate entities, and that's part of what's going on. Or you could look at it the other way, that those large corporate entities have their tentacles so deeply into the government that they're protecting the government the way they want it to be. And so it's, again, the sort of George Carlin idea is that there's a capitalism. Look, I'm a capitalist. I don't believe that there's a better system of value exchange currently. Maybe one day there will, but I don't think there is. But capitalism does not work in food production. And capitalism does not work in pharmaceutical development. The minute you make, for example, the minute you make disease profitable, well, then you make disease profitable. And so reversing diabetes, like quite literally, think about this. I mean, diabetes is going to cost America $400 billion this year. $400 billion. And one thing I really like to do for people, because I don't think people really appreciate what billion means. Like you often see in the press, they talk about millionaires and billionaires. And I think they don't realize that a homeless person has more in common with a millionaire than a millionaire does with a billionaire. To spend $1 million is to spend $83,333.33 a month for a year. It's gone. A billionaire would have to spend at that same rate for 1,000 years. It's a lot of money. Diabetes is costing America $400 billion this year. The defense budget, now, I should have checked this before I came on, but I believe the defense budget's only about $800 billion comparatively. It is a devastating disease. It's unbelievably expensive. And it's expensive because it's profitable. The minute you take somebody and run them through an 8 or 9 week program where they don't have to be, where they can be post-diabetic, they can reverse the condition, immediately that's a loss of revenue. Now, I'm not saying there's any one evil person at a pharmaceutical company that's thinking about that, but the machine is.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's of course been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.